obviously do your due diligence on the mentor. And more specifically, what they meant was, number one, when you're initially talking with this person, they most likely are going to tell you about all the things they've done, all the deals they've done, the volume of transactions they've done, who they've worked with, maybe what's news sources they've been quoted in. And so, don't necessarily like while you're sitting there take a list of what they're doing, but take a mental note of the things that they're saying, and then afterwards go online and try to figure out if what they said is actually true. So essentially just fact checking everything that they told you. Obviously, if they're lying, then that's not a good sign. And then the other one was to not be afraid to ask around about this person as well. So if this person, again, claims they've worked with, Donald Trump, then figure out if they actually work with Donald Trump. If this person claims they've worked in this particular market and they're like the number one, broker in this market, well, then talk to other brokers and owners in that market to see if that person is even, known by these people. So that was the first category, which is do your due diligence. I'll pause there before I go into the second one to see if Danny has anything to add.
Yeah, I think due diligence is so important that you actually vet what they're saying, because ideally you want to have a mentor who's kind of been there, done that, and is still doing what you want to do. Due diligence is important. Just like you're going to buy an investment property, you're going to always make sure that there's real tenants in place, or that there's actual cash flow coming in, and that the property is real, and that the quality of the construction and the systems, the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC are in good working condition. And so you just need to do that same thing with a mentor. Make sure that they've, like Theo said, done what they say they've done. And there's easy ways on the internet to fact check them. So if they recently bought and sold a property, go to the county website, to the RMC, or where they have the public real estate transactions, and verify that they bought it and sold it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second category, which kind of, it still comes down to due diligence, but it's more specific, and that's you want to find a mentor that has good character. Which it seems obvious, of course, but in the moment, that's something that might be overlooked. And you focus on all the great things they say they've done, all the great things they say they can do for you, and you don't necessarily think about how your initial feeling is about their character. And so Jay and Samara went over a few red flags to look for when you're speaking with someone, which may indicate that they have poor character. Number one, again, this goes back to the due diligence, is lying about their track record. So again, if they say that they've done this many deals and they haven't, that's not a good idea. The other one was they're the loudest person in the room and are the ones that want all the attention. So say you're at everyone knows, you go to like a conference or some sort of like seminar. There's always that one guy, who's obviously trying to gain all of the attention. And their explanation was someone who's really good at being a mentor is going to be pretty selective with who they bring on. And so they're not going to be, crazily marketing their program, every single place that they go. It's most likely going to be them finding people to work with on kind of a one-on-one basis. So they'll kind of go to the conference or the seminar. They'll kind of sit back and observe and try to pick out the people that they might want to work with and then approach them one-on-one, rather than grabbing the mic from the MC and saying, hey, I got this great deal. You want to partner up with me on it? Which takes us to number two, which is them being overly aggressive. So even if they are talking to you one-on-one, if they're like really aggressive and they're trying to pressure you to join, they're saying things like, well, this is only a one-time opportunity. The second I walk away from you right now, this deal is gone. That's also a red flag that something's amiss. Something else too, which is also very interesting, was value for value. So again, these are free mentorships. And typically, whenever people ask me how to find a mentor, I tell them that you want to go out there and proactively add value to their business, because at the end of the day, the person who's the mentor is going to be adding the most value, obviously, to your business, because they are way more experienced than you, and so just you alone being with them will give you credibility that you wouldn't have otherwise. But they should ask for something in return from you. They're actually going to give away their years of experience for free. If they are, then something's most likely going on. So if they're not asking for something in return, is also a red flag. And then two more are no referrals. So you ask them for referrals, and they're like kind of weird and saying how, well, you know, my one business partner died. My other ones are on vacation for the next 3 years, so you can't really get in contact with them. But just trust me. Come on, I got you. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But if they don't have referrals that they can list off right off the bat, that's also a red flag. And then lastly, this might be more along the lines of after you've started working with them, but they make you feel bad for asking questions. They make you feel stupid for asking questions. They don't want to they don't want to answer your questions, or they just straight up don't answer your questions. Is also another red flag.
Yeah, I certainly agree with all of those, and I'll add two more points to the list here for people to consider. Number one, trust your gut. And if like you were saying, Theo, if something doesn't feel right, or they can't get references, or there's a lot of excuses about why their references are out of town, and your little gut inside of you is saying something feels funny, it is, move on. There's plenty of people out there that are trustworthy and likable that you will feel good about working with, because not only is it you getting value from them, but you getting value from them. You're giving value to the mentor as well by having that relationship. And so it needs to be a two-way street where you both feel comfortable of creating value and opportunity for the both of you to work on that. So number one, trust your gut. If it feels off, it is, just move on and find someone else. There's plenty of people out there. We've got 7 billion plus and growing in the world. So you'll find one person that can be your mentor. Number two is a very interesting tip that one of my mentors gave me. And Theo, I'm going to use you as an example. So if you were going to be my mentor, I would really love to set up a Zoom meeting with you, Theo, so I can get to know you better after I vet your references. And most likely the person is going to take the meeting, a Zoom meeting, using the camera, being able to see them in their home. And so Theo, I'm going to pick on you for a minute here. What does Theo, as my potential mentor, look like in his environment where he's comfortable? I've learned quite a bit from Theo just by seeing him in his office. The shelving in his background, it's very organized. I see a photo in the back of his screen that shows me that he cares about people in his life because he wants to see them. I see several books up on his shelf, which leads me to believe he's eager to learn. And I see that the shelves are very organized, which leads me to believe that he's a responsible person. There's no trash on the ground, which leads me to believe that Theo takes care of himself and is interested in being, a successful person who wants to take care of his environment. And so I would trust Theo based on the environment that he lives in and is comfortable in. I would have a really hard time personally if I called a mentor and they had boxes of junk in their background in that environment. To me, that's very chaotic. I wouldn't want to be around that. And so the tip from my mentor was have a conversation with the person inside of the environment where they live, and you're going to learn so much about them just by getting onto a call, even if it's a minute long, to see where they live and what they sit in on a daily basis. And that to me was a huge tip, to know who you want to surround yourself with. Again, if someone's disorganized and chaotic, it doesn't seem like they would be very diligent at business.